Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think I have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
And we won't stop. We will not stop.
Sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time.
Look at
baby,
this.
baby, now
See this? How you cannot go
baby,
here.
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled to
who are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Good afternoon to you guys. I just came on here because I know we didn't come on here Friday. Things was happening. Hey Bev, how are you doing? Bev is in the building. I see Freddie Johnson in the building. How you doing, Freddie? I came on here because, I've been wanting to come on here. Hold on, Diesel's wanting to act up. He heard me come on the live and now he wants to bark. He been quiet. Diesel, chill. And you guys, so there's a lot's been going on lately. I know my grandson's birthday's coming up. It'll be this weekend. Let me go tell him to go downstairs. Diesel, you go downstairs. You go downstairs. Go. Go. So, yeah, Diesel's giving me the blues. Good afternoon. So you guys might hear some banging, hitting and stuff, getting a new roof put on the house. Now you want to come in here and sit down. If you're going to come in here, set it down. Down. Thank you. So you will have to go downstairs if you're just not going to behave, okay? So I was going to take him to the daycare, but, anyway. So we haven't been on in a while. I'm trying to get some things handled and settled on this side of the universe. And it's not going the way I thought it was going to go. But I mean, that's cool. It ain't no big deal. God is all good. And I'm not worried about it. Don't worry about it. The Lord says do not worry about it. But if you hear some banging and hitting, that's because they're putting a new roof on my house. $15,000 later. Oh my God. Anyway, they'll be here today and they'll be here tomorrow. And it's done really gave me a headache. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Matter of fact, I guess I'm going to take me a pain pill now because they done gave me a headache. And so, yeah, let me do that. I was going to leave the house and because it's just too much banging going on. Bang, 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 bang. Feel like Diesel was scared. You know what I've learned though? I ain't never seen my dog pull the curtain back, get up on his hind legs, because my windows are really high, and scoot the curtain back so he can look and see who's out there and what they doing. I've never seen him do that, but he done it today in front of me. He done it 2 or 3 times. I'm like, what the heck this dog doing? Like, he just mad that they're making all this noise. But anyway, you guys, I've been wanting to come on. And, so my job got me doing all this other stuff. I'm switching up some stuff in my life. You guys don't need to know about it, though. It's just personal situation. Personal situation. Nothing major, nothing to write home about. But I did want to talk a little bit about, what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the Lord, of course. The Lord is just so good, you guys. Oh, I thought they went on lunch break and they done came back. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ooh, there's something else. But anyway, and they kind of got me blocked in. I can't leave, can't go nowhere. But I'm going to go somewhere in a minute. Because I got this check that I got been sitting here for about a good month. And something tells me I need to go stick it in the bank. I never did, but I'm going to stick it in the bank. I'm going to go stick it in the bank. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. I don't know if I need to take my dog with me or maybe I need to just go ahead and put him on downstairs. He got a kennel down there. He may not like to be down there. He do not like these people at the house. He don't like it. And he just, yeah, baby. It's funny how you come running and want to be right next to me. That, you know what? I don't know. But anyway, you guys, let's talk a little bit about the Lord. I mean, because I told you guys, like, I don't know if it's a covenant with the Lord right now that's been going on in the last 6-7 months. But he has been having like 99.9% of my attention. And it really got really strange this month. And this is my mother's birthday, June the 14th, which is Freddie's birthday. But He's done set me up really well. Um, but he just tells me to don't worry, you know. And it's weird how it's so easy to say those words, don't worry. Freddie said he thinks they're trespassing. Oh, he's not comfortable at all. He is just not comfortable. I was going to take him to the daycare so he can just get all of this stuff off his mind, because the noise that they're making, they should have came through the roof. That's how loud they are. It's like boom, boom, boom. And he's like, he goes off, and I done got him quiet down. Papa told me to give him some gabapentin and some trazodone, his medication to calm him down. And I don't know. I don't feel comfortable about that meds. I know what the meds do. And I give them to people because the doctor order them. I got to give them to people, But I don't want to give it to my dog, really. I really don't. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to give it to my baby, Anyway, you guys. So let's just, I've been, like I said, I've been in a covenant with the Lord, listening to a lot of testimonies and stories and Bible teachings and all day, all night. Sometimes I might go watch a little comedy, and it's funny. Comedy is funny, But I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been in covenant for almost, it has gotten so, I wouldn't say bad, because it's not a bad thing. I'm enjoying myself, to be honest with you. It's just, I just don't even, sometimes I don't even know what time of the day it is. It's weird. And so I'm supposed to go back to work on July the 1st. Well, it was actually supposed to be tomorrow. And I just got a text message that said that I will not be going in until July the 1st. So I'm like, well, okay. I don't know. When I read the text message, the first thing that came on my mind is don't worry about it. So I'm not gonna worry about it at all. Mm-mm. Nope, not at all. So I was thinking, like, it's really crazy, but it's okay. It's okay. When I'm sitting here looking, going, okay, Lord, I'm gonna need some money now. He's like, I said, don't worry about it. He said, I said, don't worry about it, baby. Do not worry about it. And I'm like, okay, I will not. He's got everything together. He's got everything together. And he always do. That's the weird thing. That is so weird. Now thinking about it, like, I remember when my all my toes was broken and I couldn't go to work, and my job took me off of work. And I was like, Lord, what am I going to do? And so I was off work for 2 weeks, and I went back to the doctor, and I told the doctor, I said, you got to release me so I can go back to work. And the doctor said, no, I will not release you. And I was like, doctor, please, I got to go to work. And he was like, no, he would not release me. So I'm like, okay. So what did the job do? They fired me. They didn't fire me. They just didn't give me no more hours. And I couldn't go back until I had a doctor's note. So I was like, okay. So, I was sitting at home, and he just brought this back to my memory. So I want to share with you guys. because I didn't know when I came on here what I was going to talk about, but it's Tuesday Truth. So I'll give you guys some truth. So the doctor wouldn't release me to go back to work. So then I called. It was time for my insurance to be paid, and I had a brand new car. And so I called the insurance company, which is the same insurance company I have now. You know, I've been keeping this insurance company forever and ever and ever. But I called them and I told them I'm going to be late on my insurance, just to let them know, like, I'm off of work right now, can't work. And they was like, oh no. And I was like, yeah. And they was like, well, what happened? Why you can't work? And I said, well, you know, it was a dog next door was chasing after me and my children, and I threw my kids in the car. And right after I threw my son in the car, he was in the, you know, he was just, I can't even remember how old he was. He had to been around about 2, 3, no more than 4 years old. But he hit the whatever you call it, the gear thing, and it went in neutral, and he knocked the gear in the neutral. And as I was trying to get in the car, my foot got caught underneath the wheel, and he ran over my foot. And then the car just stopped. And the dog just sit there. The dog ran up on me and just sit there and just looked at me. Like, he just looked at me. And I was like, oh my God, this dog's going to eat me up. You know, my kids are safe, but the dog's going to eat me up. I had nobody that lived close to me. I was just out on my own with my 2 kids. It was just me and my 2 kids. And the dog just looked at me, and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get this car off my foot? And I'm literally pushing the car. I literally had to push my feet away from the tire that was sitting right on my foot. The only way I could do that, guess what? I broke all my toes. That's how all my toes got broken. I felt the pain and everything, and the dog didn't even mess with us or anything. I got my kids out the car and everything, and limped on in the house, dragging my kids on in the house. And I sat down and I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. And so then what happened was, the next door neighbor, I guess the vase or something got broke on her porch or whatever. I don't know if the dog did it or my kids did it, because my kids would run for 2 or 3 houses up in the neighborhood. They could never cross the street or whatever. But anyway, yeah, they back working on the roof. So anyway, she put this note on my door, and she was like, the neighbor put this note on my door, and she was a model. She was beautiful. She was a model. She was beautiful. And she was like, you need to keep your kids in your yard, this, that, and the other. And you know, that vase was $50 or $60 or something. And she had kids that would come over on the weekends or something. And they would jump on my fence, and they break down the fence. They were jumping on the fence and break down the fence. They ride the bicycles, my yard, their yard, my driveway, their driveway. Sit down, Diesel. Sit down. Sit down. It's okay. It's okay. So anyway, it's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay. So anyway, she sent me that note on the door, and she would tell me that I owed her this certain amount of money for some vases or something. Anyway, and I mean, and she was real mean about it. Diesel, sit down. It's okay, baby. So I sent her a nasty note, and the note told her, I don't mess with nobody in the neighborhood. I don't say nothing to nobody in the neighborhood. Your kids come over on the weekend. They done tore my fence up back there. They done made a path in my driveway to your driveway, in my backyard to your backyard, in the alley. I haven't said anything. And then your dog got loose, chased me into the car, and my foot is broke, and I ain't said nothing. I ain't said nothing to you guys. I done lost my freaking job. And if you come over here dealing with me, I said something smart like, you really don't even want to mess with me right now. Basically what I said to her in the note. And I went and stuck it on her door because I wasn't playing. I done lost my job. I ain't had no income in like 2-3 weeks. My toes was broke. I got a medical bill. I ain't said nothing. Can y'all hear all of that noise? It's a lot. Anyway, the lady next door, she came over to the house. She knocked on the door, and I answered the door, and I'm like, yeah, what? And she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. She's like, I didn't know you were going through all of this, and I didn't know, and I'm so sorry. And she was sorry about it. She had baked some cookies or whatever and everything. She was so sorry. She was like, don't worry about the vase, and our dog would never bite you or whatever. But I could have sued him. And that's what I told her. I could sue you guys and have you paying my medical bills. I done lost my freaking job and everything. I ain't said nothing to you. Just leave me alone, I didn't know what I was going to do. Anyway, she said, I would never say nothing to you again. And, this disrespectful and this, that, and the other. I was like, okay, whatever. But anyway, I had called my insurance company to tell them that my insurance payment was going to be really late because I couldn't work. And so I got up and I went to other jobs and I filled out applications and I got hired. And I didn't tell them my foot was broke. I walked in there, even though all my toes was broke. I'm like, because I didn't let them put a cast on my foot. No, The doctor told me the only reason why to put the cast on your foot is so you wouldn't bump your feet. That's the only reason. But my toes are smashed. He says they're crushed. Your bones are crushed. Either you want pins in them or you don't. And I was like, but I can move my toes. He was like, no, that's your muscle that you're moving. You're not moving your toes. You're not moving no bones. The bones are crushed. Yeah, I've got some ugly looking feet. But anyway, so I ended up calling the insurance company to tell them that, my payment was going to be late. And they asked what happened. So I told them what happened. And the insurance lady say, well, okay, SP, but what car ran over your foot? And I told them, I said, my car. They said, your car ran over your foot? I was like, yeah. When I threw my son in the car, he hit the gear and it went into neutral and it ran over my foot. They was like, oh, well, you do know you have full coverage insurance. I said, okay, what does that mean? Like, that ain't telling me nothing. I know I'm paying the bill. I know. And she was like, I remember it was a woman. She was like, well, if you got full coverage insurance and your car ran over your foot, then we pay all the medical bills and your job that you couldn't go to. Now, remember, I just told you guys, I put my shoes on and I went out looking for me a job because I'm like, no, we're not finna get just kicked out. I'm going to have to work somewhere. I can't tell them my foot is broke. But so I had been working this job for maybe about a week. I ran into this guy. He was a CNA. I was a CNA. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. It's okay, baby. Sit down. And I told him, I can't remember what his name was, but I told him, I was like, hey, I don't want to tell them that my foot is broke. But if you help me for the next 2-3 weeks and help me get through this, yes, just help me. I've got kids at home and, I just need to make a check. I need to make some money. And he was like, okay, well, this is what we'll do. You get the people dressed and I'll transfer them. Cool, because I really couldn't be transferring nobody. And he done it. It was a man. And I would get the people dressed and brush their teeth and brush their hair and get them all dressed, set them up on side of the bed. He come and plop them in the wheelchair. And I'm like, man, I go to the next person. And we worked good. I would get everybody dressed and ready to go. And he'd just transfer them into the chair every morning because we worked nights. So we had to get them up in the morning. We had to get so many people up in the morning. Not everybody got up, but we got like 6-7 people up in the morning. Because I can do the check and changes at night. But then when we have to get 6-7 people up in the morning, I couldn't do that because I'm thinking, shoot, we gonna fall. Anyway, we did that. So I had been doing it for 2-3 weeks. But anyway, back to the phone call. So the insurance company, and I'll tell you guys, the insurance company was State Farm, okay? I'm just letting you know they are good neighbors. They by my side. And I tell you what, it's never been a problem with them. But anyway, nevertheless, she said, yeah, she told me, she said, your job that you was working or whatever. So whatever day it happened. And I said, well, I could tell you what day it happened because I went to the ER and then I went to a doctor and they took me off work. And that was that, you know. And so she says, you get all that paperwork, you send it in, fill it out, and then go to your job because your job should accommodate you. And my job did not want to accommodate me because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't, I could pass water. I can probably take vitals, but I had crutches. So they were like, no, we got no work for you. So I was like, Okay, whatever. So, anywho's, she said for every day that you're off, whatever money you were making, we'll pay you. You know, if you were working 40 hours a week, we'll pay you 40 hours a week. And you was off for 3 4 weeks. So, and as long as we get your job to tell us that you were working full time and how much money you were in an hour, we'll pay that. And then I think they gave me some more money for something else because, like, you know, I didn't have no transportation. What I'm saying is, like, I couldn't really drive for those 3 weeks. Like, I had to pay someone to go to the store because I couldn't drive for the first 3 weeks, like I told you guys. But anyway, and then the doctor wouldn't release me. But then, like, yeah, I wasn't going to tell them I found a job and blah, 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 blah. I didn't tell them that. And so anyway, they sent me this check and it was for like $2,000. Well, back then, and I'm talking about, and this is like in 1990, 94. This is about like 1994. $2,000. That's, you know, 94. You talking about 30 years ago, you know, almost 30 years ago. And they sent me a $2,000 check. Let me tell you something. I got all my bills up. You know, my rent was due. It's more than 30 years ago. Yeah. But anyway, it was like in 94. Yeah. Because 96, this house was built. So, yeah. So then after that, I had a lot of things happening. Like, yeah, I went back to work and they sent me the money. I paid my bills, got my bills caught up, was working this other job. And then guess what? Then I thought, oh, I'll do daycare. Started doing a little daycare. It was doing all right. Soon as I start my business of daycare, then my job called me back to work. My job called me back to work, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, you know what? I don't ever want to have to deal with losing my house or where I'm staying at. My kids need a place. I don't want to stay here no more. Did you apply for SNAP? No. No, I did not. No, I did not. Because, you know, every time when I've ever tried to apply for some assistance, they always denied me. Or a couple of times, I remember one time, but it could have been twice, but I know for sure once, they did give me emergency assistant food stamps. But they said with the child support that was ordered for to come that I wasn't getting, but it was ordered like it could come. It was like, no. They said you are doing well. And I was like, this is not it. It's like $200 a month. $200 a month. But for 2 kids, so you know, I should have been getting $400 a month, but I wasn't getting nothing but like maybe $75 a month. That's what I was getting. And I really didn't want to going back and forth to court and stuff like that, you know. But anyway, I got on my feet really quick. Things got great. Things got good. And then that's when I told the person that owned that house, hey, you know, I need to buy my own house. And I can't be doing this. And then they were breaking in my house, and and I just didn't want to get back out into the world again. Like I had got out the world, and I didn't want to do that. So anyway, you guys, just sitting back thinking about it took time. The whole entire time, I did not know how I was going to make it. I didn't know. I had no clue. I didn't know where my next check was going to come or anything. And then when my job called me, I went that route. I told you, I packed up everything, moved in with my mom. Not because I needed to move in with her. I moved in with her because she was losing her house. So I moved in with my mom and gave her all my money so she could pay her house off. I didn't have a house. They said they was building me a house. My mom said they lied to you. Well, the house that I was living in, yeah, that guy, his brother, he was in real estate and his brother was in construction. And I used to take care of their mom at the place that would not give me no work after I broke my feet, my toes. It's weird. It's weird. Now, the thing about that is, my truth is, you never know where your blessing's going to come in at. You just don't know. And I think about that lady. I didn't do nothing spectacular. I just didn't. I was just nice to her, kind to her. But anyway, they built this house for me. And the blessing is it's crazy how God would have other people that you don't even really think is godly people or put favor on you. You don't know. Like back then, I didn't know what was going to happen. This check been sitting on my desk for at least a good month and a half. $15,000. It's just been sitting here. I'm going to get up and go take it and put it in the bank today. But it's the insurance company sent me the check to pay them to put this roof on my house, right? And I didn't even think they were going to do it. They sent me the check and I was like, my husband was like, we can get somebody else to put a new roof on. And I told my husband, he's a little bit upset with me because he wanted his friends. And I was like, hey, no, I don't want leaks. I don't want to be calling your friend and you don't know, and you sitting there talking about, I don't know where they at and they this, that, and the other. No. Because I called the insurance company after this real bad storm and a lot of my shingles was off my house. And I thought they was the neighbor's shingles, but they were my shingles. And I had to fight with them for a long time and tell them, basically, I gave them a little ultimatum. And I'm just being honest with you guys. It wasn't easy, like, call them, hey, storm came through here. And I mean, my husband been telling me, shingles is off the house. And I'm like, no, surely those are not my shingles, you know. I just had the roof put on, 12 years ago. It's a 20-year job. Shingles shouldn't be coming off my house, and it ain't even been but 12 years. But it was my shingles. So anyway, they were like, no, we're going to fix your fence, but we're not going to fix nothing else. And I said, no, you will fix my roof. This is an investment. And you will fix my roof. And if you don't, I'm done with you guys. I'll find somebody to do it for $6,000-$7,000. But I will bundle my stuff up with State Farm. You know what I'm saying? That's what I told them. Yeah, I don't know how I came up with the word bundle, but they always will call you and say, "Hey, well, you can get a smaller deductible and a smaller rate if you bundle, your house with your boat and your cars and this." And at one time I had one car with State Farm, which was mine, and my husband's insurance, he had the cheap insurance. And then one day I finally was like, you know what? I had 4 or 5 cars with State Farm. I had the truck. I had 2 trucks, 2 cars, 2 or 3 cars. And so I just told my husband, I said, we need to cut down. We're spending a lot of money on insurance. We can't drive all these vehicles. So let's just insure the vehicles that we're driving. And so I cut all of that out. And so we only covered under what cars was being driven at the time, because that's a lot of money just being wasted. But anyway, the reason why I was telling you guys this story is just the truth on Tuesday. You never know when God tells us to don't worry. I know it seems like it's easy to say, but looking back at every time he came through. You know what I'm saying? He came through. I mean, like, you can sit there and worry if you want to, but worrying is not trust. So, because you got time or whatever. But when he tells you to don't worry, it'll work its way out. And to be honest with you, he always give me remembrance, like, what are you worried about? I want you to rest. And I'm like, well, dang, Lord. I thought I was going to return to work tomorrow. And he's like, nope, you will not tomorrow. And I'm sitting there going, not tomorrow. I was finna take my hair down and have a new fresh hairdo and everything and be like, yay. You know what I'm saying? But he tells us to don't worry. And I don't have my phone right here. But, like, a lot of the scriptures come into my remembrance. Like, if God be for you, then, that's better than the whole world being against you. Like, and, just things. And it's so sad that that's how he has to get our attention. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's okay though. I guess it's okay. You know, he loves us so much. Golly. We don't even know what's good for ourselves. We just don't. We be like, well, dang, I want to go back to work tomorrow. And he's like, no. You know, but I'm going to tell you guys something that I have noticed in the last month. And this is just for family. So I'm glad family's in the building. I see Tina Powers is in the building. How you doing? And I'm gonna tell you guys something. Um, that God has put on my heart. Tina Taylor, how you doing? Hello, I see you. She said I'm just dropping in just to say hello. But you guys be very careful. What I've been noticing in this covenant lately. So if you guys ain't been hearing from me or seeing me, it's because God got almost all my attention. I mean, he really does. But he done set me down for a minute. And and it's okay. It's okay. He's got my attention. And it's really not even on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just showing me, because I'm not connected in the world, like I go through things like you go through things, and you go through things. Freddie, she's going through things. Tina, you're going through things. Bev, you're going through things. And the world is catching up with things we have said for years. Let me share with you guys this. Don't go nowhere. There's a shift. Hey, Monique, how you doing? There's a shift. And the world is just now noticing it. We have noticed it, but it has blossomed, you guys. I'm not trying to scare you, because he does not give us the spirit of fear. But we need to pray more and to trust more. And we need to Monique said, I'm going through it too. We need to recommit our lives to the Lord. We need to go back. Some doors are not shut, that we need to shut doors. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, you guys. Because there's a present now that's on earth. And you guys are right. I know everybody's saying it, but nobody's really understanding what's going on. And the sad thing about it, we're not repenting our sins. We're not repenting. So, I'm going to share something with you. I've shared this with one person before, and it's this guy at work. And he couldn't make me understand how it is that on my way back home, Remember I told you guys a story about my ex-husband, and I was coming home. Well, I didn't tell you guys at that time when I was leaving work and I was on my way home. I was smoking on a cigarette. And something told me to turn up into the Quick Trip, and I was sitting there at the gas pump. And that's when I heard the Lord's voice. Okay? Now, I knew it was the Lord's voice. I didn't have to ask who was it and all of that other stuff, because he was telling me not to go home. You guys already know the story. But I was talking to this guy at work that went to this men's retreat. He was there for 10 days. And I asked him, have you ever heard the Lord's voice before? And he was like, no. And I was like, yeah. He was like, you have? And I was like, yeah. And I told him all about it. And he was like, really? He was like, oh. He was like, how did you know? I was like, you're going to know. And you're going to know. But, I was telling him that when the Lord spoke to me, he didn't say, hey, put that cigarette down. I need to talk to you. He didn't say, hey, I got a problem with you smoking. He told me, he said, whatever you do not go home. That's what he said. And he said it really nice. It wasn't, do not go home. It wasn't like that. It was like, do not go home. And I was like, I know I just did not hear him tell me to don't go. That's where my kids are at. Of course I'm going home. I'm stressed out. I'm tripping, I just told you guys I was smoking on a cigarette, right? Okay. I got nothing to hide, you guys. So I was telling my friend at work, I say so-called friend, a person at work. I'll just call him a person, because I'm be honest with you. I now know that he's not a friend to me. I still love him, and it hurts me that he's not my friend. But I haven't told him that, but I'm just telling you guys. But anyway, he was telling me, he was like, you can't be smoking and all this other stuff. And I was like, well, I told him, I said, well, sit down. Stop it. Sit down. Lay it down. You're okay. I said, if God had a problem with it, why he didn't say nothing to me that day? If there was a problem with me smoking, why he didn't tell me to stop that day? He couldn't answer. Of course he couldn't answer. He's never had a spiritual experience before. He's never heard the Lord's voice before. So I'm looking at him like, if you think you're more of a Christian than I am, why is it that you haven't heard his voice before? Like, I've seen visions. I've had dreams. I have encountered certain situations, and you just telling me, you want me to not smoke. Like, why? For you? Or because you want to tell me and then I do it so you could say that you helped me? I don't know why you're telling me this, because God told me not to go home, but he didn't say nothing about my cigarette. Right? Somebody put a 1 in the chat. I know that you guys are listening. So that always came to my mind. It always came to my mind like, that's weird. That's crazy that he didn't say nothing about my cigarette. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Monique. He didn't. He didn't say nothing about it. Now, I could never understand why he didn't ever say anything. So I'm like, I'm not hurting nobody, or maybe myself. I don't know. Because people say, your body is the temple. And then we always say church is a building. The church is really in us or something. But now, But, it's actually a habit or whatever. But, okay. So I wanted to share with you guys this one young lady. I don't know. Her name is Tiffany. I don't know if you guys seen her. She's on YouTube. They call her Tiffany Tyson. But she was on this podcast and she was giving her testimony. And I thank God that she gave her testimony. They call her Tiffany Tyson because she fights. And anyway, I can tell you what her testimony is all about. But anyway, I'm glad she gave her testimony because she had been having all of these abortions. All these abortions. And she was having an abortion. And she said that, she didn't have the type of abortion where they go up in there and they do stuff. She had the abortion where she takes a pill and then it will extract the baby out. And she knew that it's not a godly thing. She knows she was killing her child and she was not saved. But she said after she took the pill, the Lord told her that he was going to use her as a prophet and that he loved her and that, she was his child. She was a child of God. I watched her testimony. I listened to her testimony. And she said something. She said, how was God talking to her? And she was sitting on the table having an abortion at the time, killing a child. Now, some people, I guess she says something. She's famous. I mean, I wouldn't say famous. She's very well known as a Christian now. But she says something about people going to the Beyonce concert. And all these Christians jumped on her talking about how you going to talk about Beyonce and you done had 6, 7, 8 abortions and blah, blah, blah. You want to call, Beyonce this and Beyonce that. And she said, Beyonce is a witch. But everybody knows this. What do you mean everybody knows this? But, you say something about Beyonce and they be like, I like her music. She's pretty. She says she gets up there on the stage. And I don't really listen to Beyonce. I never thought she had a really nice voice. I think she's a pretty woman. Beautiful, on the outside physical appearance. But I never thought nothing about her music. Now, It's a little fun, a little bit sometimes, like put a ring on it, da, 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 being confident or something. But she was talking about her stage at this concert that she was telling people not to go to her concert. And the people in the church got angry with her. And she said on the stage, Beyonce had these two legs that was up and just like she was giving birth, and a hole in the middle of the legs, and people would come in and go out. And she said that it was a portal. And so sometimes when people engaged into these rituals, that these witches, she called Beyonce a witch. And I'm going to tell you something. I had heard she was one. I believe she is. I'm just saying. That's not why I don't like her music. I just think that, like, she looks totally different from when she was on. She was a backup dancer. And I thought she was pretty then, but she looked totally different. She was darker then. She was flat chested. She really didn't have a butt on her. Now all of a sudden she got boobs, butt, and she's the hottest thing. But no, I literally, and this is not tabloids or just reading it or whatever. I mean, I even could say, not just felt it, but just like but you don't know how deep it is, because people always talk about the hey Lisa, I was just thinking about you. She said, hey SP, hopping out the bushes to agree. I went to the Beyonce concert and it was a lot going on. Wow, really? Yeah, she was talking about the Beyonce concert and she was telling people not to go, and they basically ran her out the church. All right, Tina, you take it easy. She said, I left you a message. I got your message. I got your number. I was going to give you a call, girl. I just seen it today. I don't even know when you left the message. You said it was in May. I don't know. I just seen it today. I wrote it down. Yep. Anyway, she was talking about the Beyonce concert and how she said, I heard that Taylor Swift is a witch too. Really? That's crazy. She said that these people are like, like their strongholds are not only the music, but, being in that kind of environment. I don't know. I've never went to one of her. Like I said, I've never liked her music. I like the one song, Put a Ring on It. But I mean, that's for kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she's a pretty woman. I'm never going to take that away from her. I think she's beautiful. She's tall. I think I like her complexion. It's beautiful. I like that she's a strong woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a strong woman. And she's a woman. You know what I mean? Like, but I've never really liked her music. Like, oh, the one song, like, I don't know if I've liked her music like that. I've never liked the music like that. Not where I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go give me some tickets. I'm not. The men be like, uh, you don't look like Beyonce. Beyonce is pretty. Beyonce this, Beyonce that. Beyonce. And I think that even when we go to the hair store to go get hair, we go get hair that looks like Beyonce hair. And that we know good and well that's not Beyonce hair, but still. She's right. The lights going in and out, spinning in circles. It took me a few days to focus after that concert, for real. So the lady was saying that these witches now, sometimes, why, like, you can go to church and go to therapy and you can figure out what's going on with you. Why is, like, some demons are not leaving, or why is it that you are attracted to this, or you attracted to that, and that's not even like you. Or she said it's something, but she says it's a portal at these concerts. And when you're godly or God-fearing, or you're God's child, that you repent. Sometimes you got to rededicate your life. And when things are happening back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back, it's because you have opened the door, going to these concerts, listening to the music, going through, like what Lisa just said, the lights blinking on and off, the spinning around in circles, the frequency of the bass and the music. You literally, and then when you pay the money to go, that's your tithes, basically, for them to keep creating this illusion that you are a part of this life. And so at the end of the day, the bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you guys is, the world is now catching up to realize that these witches are real. And I do got a situation at my job where these witches are real. I didn't want to say anything, but you remember when I told you, I don't know why I was feeling a certain way, like I didn't want to go into the building, and anxiety, and I know they're talking and they can't really say nothing bad about me. First of all, I'm nice looking. I'm not ugly. I take a bath so I don't stink. My clothes is fit me. I keep them where, if I gain weight, I get it tailored to fit. If I lose weight, I get it tailored to fit, so I'm not never looking bummish or anything. When I'm at home, yeah, I put on my little rag or whatever on my head, or, if I go to the store or something, I might throw on a scarf or something, like right now, my hair is done right now, but I still got a little cap on it. You know what I'm saying? But my hair is done. But anyway, the woman was saying that even though that she was sitting in that doctor's office having an abortion and already had took the pill, the Lord had spoke to her and told her what her future was going to be like, you know? And you can tell when someone is telling the truth. She said she hated this one woman. She was going to fight this one woman. I guess they was fighting over the same man or whatever. And she said she hated this woman so much. She just wanted to carve her initials in her face. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I like, this woman is scary. Like, she was like, I hated her that much. Like, she was like, I just hate her. And I was like, hate is a very strong word. It's just hate. Are you crazy? Hate. And now she's a prophet. She's out there, and I'm telling you, she said when she was trying to tell the people in the church about this Beyonce concert, they all went after her. Like, how can you think you can talk when you done had all these abortions and da 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 da? And I'm just telling you guys, like, this woman, she was giving her testimony, and you can't get me just to believe anything. I may not believe you, but I may not say nothing. I may just let it just ride and slide if that's what you want to be or whatever. But this woman here, why would she come on national TV and tell everybody that she was in abortion clinic and done been there multi times, and she just took a pill and the Lord revealed himself to her? That would be crazy. You know why? Because it's true. That's why. Let me tell you something. And see, there's this one other person. I can probably say his name if I think about it long enough, but I guess the Lord don't want me to say his name. It's a pastor, and he's actually in the Virginia area. Now, I'm not saying he don't know what he's talking about, because he does. But there's an arrogance about him. There's an arrogance about him. But I'm going to tell you guys something that he said. He was talking about Trump. And he made all the sense in the world. He said Trump is trying to get them to stop doing abortion. And people be like, but SP, I've never been favored to abortion, you guys. It's wrong. We all know it. We all know. Come on, let's be honest. We know. But then, you got the women talking about it's my body. But we know it's wrong, right? That's crazy. So, I just said, we know it's wrong. So when I was talking to my friend, or my so-called friend from work, and he was like, well, you need to quit smoking and and I was trying to make him explain to me, well, explain to me, how is it wrong? Well, let's be honest. It's wrong. Just like abortion is wrong. Monique said, I know it's wrong. Yeah. So he was saying people are getting mad at Trump because Trump wants to stop this abortion stuff. Oh, not only that, Trump wants to stop the government for testing these rats. So they're testing rats, trying to make them be transgender. They have millions and millions, like 20, 30 millions of dollars testing on these rats, trying to make them transgender. And so, not saying he's not a thief and he's a clown and he's a liar, but I will say this, and this pastor said this. Is so funny that he said this because I've said this to you guys. And I know you guys heard what I said. I said, you guys want to know the line from truth and a lie. So we get caught up in these sayings like the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. Well, you know how the devil tricks you is because so you think you're smart or whatever, but he knows the book better than you. I don't care how long you read it. He's been on this earth longer than you. He knows it backwards and forwards. He knows every word. He knows. I'm not giving him no credit, but he knows. So when Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, Satan came to him and he told him, won't you make that rock into some bread and eat? And the Lord said no. Told him not to tempt thy God. It's not going to tempt him. Then he told him, well, if he would give him everything that he sees, everything, like he had it to give to him. But anyway, he said, why don't you throw yourself from this rock? Because don't the word say that you won't even, something about scrape your knee. The angels won't even let you scrape your knee, which is the word. Word for word. Was that a lie? No, that wasn't a lie. That's the truth. Right? So sometimes what I'm saying to you guys is be careful, because we always seem like we have to prove something, and we don't have to prove anything to anybody. They feel like they finna come through my roof. If they fall through my roof, I am gonna be like, what the heck is? I am gonna be so mad. I am gonna be mad. It's crazy. I know y'all hear them up there. And they all Spanish people. I thank God for them, even though I don't really get along with Spanish people that much. But I've got nieces and nephew that is Spanish. Well, actually, they're not Mexican. They're Puerto Ricans. But, you know, and they hate for you to say it's the same thing because it's not. Just like Africans are not the same as African American. We're not the same. We might have the same color, but we're not the same. Africans and African Americans are totally different. Anyway, you guys, you know, I'm just saying that the world is now catching up with what's going on in the world with witches. And God will meet you in the place that you are at. Mm-hmm. Now they got this thing, and I know we're going to get off of here. Tina says, I thought that was Diesel playing with one of his toys, to be honest. No, Tina, they're putting a roof on my house. They're putting a new roof on. They tore the old one off, and they're going to put a new one on. And you know what? And I am so thankful because my house is paid, it'll be paid off in I think January of this coming year. January. I think it's January or something. I might have another year or so because I borrowed against it or something one time. Yeah, I think I borrowed against it, but I don't even know what I borrowed against, but it's all good. We're on the backside. We on the backside, baby. But anyway, she said, I thought that was Diesel playing with his. No, that's those nail guns and stuff. Hopefully they don't. Woo. Anyway, the world is now starting to see these witches and calling them out. So in the last 5 to 10 years, you guys have been seeing people going down, R. Kelly and P. Diddy. Then you got a couple of them that done got killed, and you're starting to see a lot of people just falling off. So, because like when I was young, and you're like 40 years ago, because, I'm turning 60. So 40 years ago, we didn't believe that the music was bad. I mean, it was just music, We didn't see the music as being bad and, frequencies, and we didn't talk about witches. We didn't. And now look at our kids. Look what they're wearing. They go out the house half naked. And the young girls, now check this out. If you guys don't think that, y'all think something's wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. When you see a 12-year-old wearing a wig. 12? 12-year-old on 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds wearing wigs. I'm not talking about, they talking about lace front. Wigs, y'all. And we don't think nothing of it. We be like, you slayed that girl. They didn't used to wear wigs. They wear their hair. They wear what they got on, what they have. They wear a wig better than an older woman. got no respect for the older women. They want to call them auntie. It's okay to wear tracks or braids or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? The babies 12, 13, 14, 15 wearing wigs. Turn around. I want to pet your butt. Sit down, baby. It's crazy. Better not say nothing. And then you know what's so really, 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 really funny? Remember when the women was wearing weaves? Now guess who wear the weaves? Guess who wear the weave now? The men. The men wear the weave. The women wears the wigs. Exactly, Lisa Taylor. Lisa Taylor says the acrylic nails and the lashes. I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, do you not know? Like, I had this girl at one of my jobs, and she was like, let me put some eyelashes on you. And I said, okay. And she had these big eyelashes. I was like, hey, girl, you got to take that off. I look like I'm finna fly away. Like, when I used to see women dressed like that with the colorful nails and the nails that's, 2-3 inches long, and the short skirts where you can see their panties, and then the fishnet stockings and stuff, and the stilettos and stuff. They was used to be prostitutes. They didn't used to be the girls. Not you going to school with them, and that's a grown woman looking for some fun. They call it a woman of the night. Now that is what they call cute now. Now I'm going to say this to you guys, and you guys know it to be true, but I'm going to say this. So Revelation tells us that you're going to know the end of time because of what? Because the end of time is going to look like two things. They say the days of Lot and the day of Noah. Right? What was happening and they only really specifically talked about the sexuality in the day of Lot. Because remember, the men gathered around the house, and Lot was like, no, don't take these men. They was like, where those men at that came to your house? They knew they were angels. Lot says, no, you can take my daughters. His daughters was virgins. Virgins, y'all. Virgins. He said, take my daughters. They was like, no, we want the men. And if you don't give them to us, we're going to do to you worse than what we was going to do to them. Them men didn't want Lot's daughters, and they was virgins. Make sense of that. So I'm saying to you guys, it's hard now to date because these men ain't looking at you. The men are looking at the other men. They ain't even, when I was young, the sexual thing that they would do would if you dated somebody and they said that they ate cootie cat, they would make fun of you. So I had this guy, and somebody said, well, somebody said that you said that he ate your coochie, which I didn't say anything of that. I was a virgin. That was not true. I always thought that was the first story of homosexuality. Exactly. And now, eating cat ain't nothing. My mom would say all the time, why would you want to kiss somebody that been down there doing this, doing that? I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, Mom, yeah, Mom, it's a part of, sex. It's just a part of sex, Now they're like, the women like, if you ain't eating my booty, your booty, yeah, groceries. Now, y'all sitting back laughing, but it's true. And I'm going to tell you something. A man that'll eat your butt will, hey, they gay. Or they close to it. That you think you're going to please them, they don't care. So if you thinking that you only date straight men, you're not. I dated this one guy right before I got married. I was dating this one guy. Oh my goodness. He was tall. He was nice. He was chocolate. Oh my goodness. He was so good looking. He was so good looking. And he was like, I'm a freak. And I was like, well, yeah. He was like, no, I really am. I'm a freak. And I was like, oh, okay. So you say, no. He was like, well, when you come over here and all this other stuff, So one day I went over to his house. It smelled like pure butt. I kid you not. I knew when I walked in the house, I was like, dang, it smells like ASS in here. But I didn't trip or nothing. I was like, okay, maybe, he don't got to wash it in the dryer. And it just smelled like he just got done doing something. Serious. Because you can smell it in the air. But I didn't say nothing. I was like, oh, okay. This man was not interested in me. He was like, you gonna let me eat your butt? And I'm like, are you serious? Yeah, he was serious. And just like my mother was when I told her about eating cat, I thought to myself, if he's going to do this, surely he didn't want me to kiss him after he does something of this nature. And I'm thinking to myself, what would make this man, only thing he wants to do is lick my booty hole. Nothing comes out your booty hole but doo-doo. It's not good looking. I don't get it. And that's when you know that you are now the older generation. And that yes, Freddie, the wickedness that's in this world. And our kids are in trouble, y'all. Yeah, our kids are in trouble. And it ain't no stopping it. You could try to stop it all you want. This AI and what's going on, and you know what? We did get it right when we said when these computers and all this social media stuff started happening, like it is moving so fast. Think about it. It's 2026. Everything that's happening is happening for a reason, and everything is in that book. But half of y'all won't know about it because you won't read it. And even if you didn't read it, you could still go watch platforms that's preaching and teaching about these things. Nah, you're not doing that. You're being distracted. The distraction is real. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you like where God got me. You guys, I'm not judging nobody. You do you, and I'm going to do me. But I'm just telling you the distraction is real. Like, if any time to get right, it's like we need to figure it out. Because just like when COVID hit America, it wasn't no toilet paper, no napkins. You didn't have nothing to wipe your butt. No social anything. Churches stopped. The churches now check this out. We noticed something. When COVID hit, churches was like, don't come to church. Like, we're going to do this so on the internet and you can drive by and all this other stuff. It's like, what happened to all this trust the Lord and this is the Lord's house and the Lord is present? Would the Lord be present? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what happened to all of that? What happened? Are we already in the last days, y'all? We already there. And you can try to get prepared all you want. And I'm not telling you not to prepare. It's better to try to prepare for whatever you think you can change or make it another day or whatever. But all that extra spinning that you're doing, don't do it. Do not do it. You'll wish you hadn't. I'm not saying you can't live your life. I'm just saying ain't nothing to be scared about. It's gonna happen. But you know what your job is to do, to tell people to, commit to the Lord and stand for what you believe, the truth. Repent. If you don't do nothing else today, repent about anything you've ever done, the way you think, whoever you done did some offense to. Just being truthful, y'all. Even if you can't think of somebody or anybody, I ain't been back at my job, and this guy that's running for some seat, commissioner, Congress, mayor, I don't know. I really don't pay that much attention, but he is a friend of mine. He called me last night. And he was like, hey, they're asking for a med aid. He was like, what you think I should do? And I was like, shoot, go make your money, whatever. And see, it was good that he called me because I said, I'm glad that you called me to let me know that, they having little issues up there. They, I ain't never had a med. They won't even give me a med aid. I ain't never had a med aid. Now all of a sudden your nurses need a med aid. Really? You wouldn't give me a med aid. But whatever. So, somebody told me, I think it was my homegirl, she comes on here some of the time. Man, what's her name? Zena. And I'm gonna tell you something. You guys, I'm gonna tell you something. This channel is for Christians. It really is. It always have been, and it always will be. And when people get mad about it, they just have to get mad about it. And I've told y'all this, like that's my first love. And I'm scared for the people that's here that don't have their life right. And I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Is letting you guys know that we are in the last times right now. We've been in them. And I see it for exactly what it is. And yes, I'm going through it. But the Lord told me don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. And I'm not. But I do need to get some things right. Exactly, Monique. I do need to get some things right. For real, for real. You know what's so funny? I've been thinking about it. I'm going to tell y'all something what happened yesterday. I kid you not. I've been thinking. And I'm like, I done slowed down smoking, but, I've really been thinking about it. Really, really, really. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. But I said, I'm going to go up here and get me back. They even quit selling them. I said, when they quit selling them, I'm going to quit. But I still, I can go find them. I said, well, I know where they're at. They're at the smokehouse. So I'm going to go to the smokehouse and see if they got my, I know they got them there. I know they got the ones I smoked up there. They got my cigarettes up there. And my cigarettes cost like $16, $17 a pack, right? So 2 packs, you looking at taxes and all of that. You're looking at $38, $39 for 2, right? Y'all put a 1 in the chat because I'm finna share something with you. I had made up my mind that okay, I'm really gonna just quit. Because it's been on my mind and everything, but let me just go get me one more pack. Let me just go get one more pack. I kid you not, this happened yesterday. I said, let me just go get one more pack, and I'm gonna start working on it. Because I'm feeling some kind of something. I'm feeling like it's that time. They stopped selling them, and that's what I need. And now hey, you can't even hardly find them, and da 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 da. And like I said, well, if you like something, you know exactly where to go. I go up to the smokehouse. And I said, well, give me a pack. I said, okay, I got only but $100 on me. So, okay, give me two. Give me two. So I'm getting ready to spend half of that 100 on 2 packs of cigarettes, which sounds crazy, right? But I'm getting ready to do it. And the lady comes and she says, ma'am, are you sure you just want two? And I look at her and I say, yeah. Why would I not just want two? Like, I done made it in my mind. First, I done went to get one, and I said, well, just give me two, and I could be done, right? But I done made it up in my mind, like I'm ready to do this. I'm really ready to do this. She says, because we got them on sale. I said, what you mean you got them on sale? She said, yeah, they're only $3 a pack. Did y'all just hear what I just said? I said, what? Yeah, we got them on sale for $3 a pack. I said, oh my God. I said, okay, $3 a pack. I said, well, how many do you got? She says, oh, we got 6 here, but we've got a whole bunch. Yes. Lisa Taylor said, that's crazy. That's unheard of. Lisa, that is unheard of. You know what I'm saying. That's unbelievable. Like, why would you tell me that? She was like, she says, well, the hundreds, the hundreds is the long ones. We got 6 of those, but we got like 40, 50 of the 50s, which is the short ones. That's hundreds mean long, 50 means short. I could not believe what this woman just said. It was no catch. I told her, I said, give me all the hundreds. I said, just give me all the hundreds. And was no catch. Was no catch. Crazy, ain't it? Crazy. The minute I got in my head that I was going to be done, and look what just happened. Look what just happened. So, this is the Truth Tuesday, y'all. I'm just telling y'all the truth. And so she puts them in a sack. I ain't never had somebody put my cigarettes in a sack. She puts them in a sack and hands them to me. And I think it came up to like $19. It wasn't even $20. It wasn't even $20. Monique says, I believe it was a test. Well, I didn't pass. I failed that test. I failed, Monique. So back to, some people be like, well, the Lord done, cured me from this and took me from that, and I'm recovered from this. Well, you only recovered unless you was tested correctly. That test, I failed. You know how some people, they cheat and they say, I'm not going to cheat no more. I'm not going to cheat no more. Well, you wouldn't cheat if it was olive oil, Popeye's wife or girlfriend. You're not going to cheat with olive oil. You're not going to cheat with her. But if Beyonce walked in the room and Beyonce said, just spend one night with me, then would you cheat? See what I'm saying? I was ready to give everything up and say, I'm done. I'm just going to do this and chill or whatever. She said, I could make money off of that. Yes. I'm telling you guys what she told me, and I left with them. And I was thinking about today, like, let me go get them shorts. Because how could you not? She said, I could flip. See what I'm saying? Unfreaking believable. She said, I could sell them for 10. Yes. More than double your money, triple your money off of one. With no problem. With no problem. Matter of fact, I was supposed to call my son and tell my son about what they just told me. This was yesterday. Do you know, I didn't even tell my husband when I got home. I just kind of was like, I can't believe what just happened. Freddie said, $3? Yes. $3. If y'all don't believe me, I will call up there and I will put it on speakerphone and you guys can hear it for yourself. I would call them and say, hey, do you guys still got those $3 cigarettes that y'all was selling the other day? If you guys want to hear, I'll find the phone number. I'll find the phone number and let you guys. Matter of fact, hold on. Where's my other phone at? Hold on. Let me find my other phone. Hold on. It was almost done anyway. Come on, D. Come on in here, baby. Let me find their phone number. Oh, somebody called me. Let me see who called me. 109. Oh, okay. Let me see here. Here it is right here. Can y'all hear it? Put a 1 in the chat.
We call Tom Smoker. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I was in there the other day and I was buying some cigarettes. You guys had them on sale for $3. Do you guys still got some more of those cigarettes?
Yeah, I still got my closeout cigarettes. I got my Salem's and my Mavericks left.
Are they the 100s or are they the shorts?
For which brand?
For the Salem's.
I do got Salem 100s and shorts, I believe.
You got the 100s?
Let me check. Yes, I got, no, I do not got 100s. I only got the shorts left.
How many do you have left?
I have quite a bit.
Oh, and how much are they?
They're on their closeout sale, so like $3.20 after tax.
All righty, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It threw me for a loop. And I'm still getting thrown for a loop. Yes. He said $3 a pack, $3.20 after tax. I told y'all. So when I got the 6 packs, 6 times 3 is 18. And I told you it was around about like $19 and some cents. It wasn't even $20. It wasn't even $20. I was like, oh my goodness. I could not freaking believe it. And then not only that, the woman told me that she says, well, they got another store. And they got another store somewhere. And that they can go to the warehouse or something. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. But anyway, it's just the ideal. I wanted to share with you guys, like, I literally had just decided to quit. Yeah. And that's what happened. And that's what happened. Now what am I supposed to do? I don't know. Let's see what this lady's talking about.
You're not pressed to make a clearing or have an overstanding of your point of view. A, the faster it reveals things. And B, when you aren't pressed to be understood, you feel me? Because you are learning to just understand yourself. And sometimes it's okay to just understand the truth for yourself. It's the moment that everybody who feels like they have a narrative is going to paint you as the villain. It really is easy to become the villain in the stories that you are not pressed to defend, because it's a one-sided point of view. It's a one-sided story. It's a one-sided perspective of what people think and feel like they know, but don't know nothing at all, if we're being quite frank. And it really does take a different type of maturity to hold your peace and let people spin narratives every which way. And sometimes you just have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with not defending yourself or explaining your point of view or clearing anything. Sometimes it's best just to let people think what they want to think, feel how they want to feel. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you stop trying to control the narrative about how other people feel about you or what other people think, it saves you. Not only does it reveal really the heart postures that's around you, but it also makes clear your peace.
You know,
We're gonna move those laundry for the month.
What?
I'm just saying, you guys. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I just wanted to share with you guys. Keep trying to do what you're trying to do. Repent. Be careful. Talk to your children. And let God work it out. Because he will work it out. And just keep in prayer. All right, you guys. Be good. Be safe. And be nice to each other. Bye.